Greetings, young Americans. I am the great Greek thinker, Democritus. I live in year 400 BC. We do a lot of thinking around here. The younger generation thinks they are smarter than their elders. They don't believe me. But I believe that an element is made by single particles. They are called atoms, which means indivisible. We don't have any technology to prove that, but if we had some good equipment, I could show you that matter cannot be broken down any further. I hope future scientists prove me right.
You poor crazy old man.
Who are you?
I am the greatest Greek thinker, Aristotle, student of Plato and teacher to Alexander the Great. I live in the year 350 BC. You drink too much wine. Your idea that the elements are made of invisible atoms is nonsense. I can guarantee you with all my great brain that the universe is made of 4 continuously divisible elements: earth, water, fire, and air, as it floats, that can be divided an infinitely number of times.
Do you have any technology to prove that?
This is technology.
Your brain is technology?
State of the art. Who are you questioning me?
Well, I'm John Dalton, school teacher of England. We question everything around here.
I don't remember after that. Is it over?
It's on you.
Oh, England, what's that? Oh,
It's a future thing you wouldn't understand.
there's nothing that I can't understand. How far in the future?
It's like about 2,000 years. I'm in 1808 AD.
AD?
Forget it. Your brain is made of mush, which is not divisible. Oh, okay. Those mixtures you speak of are composed of atoms, just like Democritus thought.
Nonsense. What makes you think that?
Well, we have some really impressive scales to measure. We have some really impressive scales to measure these compounds and the mass of these compounds before and after they combine. And they always combine in whole number ratios for a particular compound.
Always?
Well, you see, what happened was, we have some really impressive scale to measure the mass of these elements before and after they combine, and they always combine. Okay. Well, when you perform hundreds of experiments and read other people's experiments 100 times, you can't help but assume that it will always happen. And if they do combine whole number ratios, then they must be in whole pieces that can't be divided into parts.
Well,
What?
What?
I wouldn't say atoms can be divided.
Who are you?
J.J. Thompson, Joseph John Thompson. I live in England too.
Never heard of you.
I live in 1897. 1897. I'm a physicist.
Ooh, a physicist. Step down, Mr. School Teacher.
Wow, what did you find out?
Well, apparently, atoms are divisible. They have removable parts with a strong negative charge.
Removable? How do you know?
Well, see, I was messing around with this cathode ray tube I found right here.
Cat dog, what to?
It's where a beam of light goes through a tube from one piece of metal to the other. When I put my negative magnet against the light, it bends away. Yeah. So therefore, I think metal atoms are sending out little negative parts. I call it electrons.
What are these little negative parts in an atom?
They're all spread through it. The rest are positive, so it's balanced out. Think of it as like nuts in plum pudding or seeds in a watermelon.
Sir,
What?
I tested your hypothesis. It's wrong. There's no positive and negative all mixed together.
Who are you?
Rutherford, Ernest Rutherford. I tested Thompson's hypothesis in 1911.
How?
Surely you've heard of my gold foil experiment.
Sweet! Gold foil experiment. What does that do?
Well, you see, I shot at alpha particles at a piece of gold foil.
Alpha particles.
They're like little atoms that flick off radioactive metals. Anyway, I shot them at some gold foil and I could see them hitting a screen behind the gold foil. Thousands of them flew right through the gold and hit the screen.
So you're telling me you saw thousands of alpha particles?
Well, it seemed like thousands. I sat there for several nights in a row. Anyway, every once in a while, a particle would bounce back toward my alpha emitter.
What does that do?
Well, I wondered that myself. I figured it out. The alpha particles are positive and have lots of mass, so they must have hit something positive, even with more mass. And whatever they hit must be tiny little area in the gold, because most of the alpha particles go right through without hitting anything.
That's wild.
That's crazy. There's no such thing as atoms.
You want wild? I'll show you something wild.
Who are you?
Danish physicist, 1913.
Another physicist.
Yes, Mr. Thompson, there are electrons in an atom,
Thank
but
you.
they don't sit in the atom like plum pudding. They actually orbit the nucleus in a set path called an orbit, just like planets orbit the sun.
Planets orbiting the sun.
Yes, the sun is the center of the universe nowadays.
How do you know the electrons orbit the paths?
Well, because they set off in certain light patterns. I saw it when I was looking at a tube of hydrogen gas through my prism.
That's beyond absurd.
Oh, let me tell you about Beyond.
Who are you?
You.
I'm Reginald Kilkin. I'm a philosopher, as you can see, and I've been for over 30 years.
30 years. Try 60 years. Then call yourself a philosopher.
Well, believe it or not, I'm a tad bit older than you, and I assume that, well, not assume, but believe that it's time to ask what you have been thinking of a philosopher is so relevant.
Oh, what do you know about Beyond?
Well, currently I live in a space station orbiting Earth's, space station that is currently within Earth's orbit in the year 2775, and I have seen things beyond all of you. And within the future, I foresee that we will develop an element that has forces that outweighs its electrons. Here is a tube I have to show you.
This guy.